Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Not Too Comic Book. This being a show where I talk about TV shows that are adaptations of comic books. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the series premiere of Hotel Inhumans, a great series premiere. A lot of really interesting things went down in this episode, so let's break it down. So I've never read the manga that this is based on, but I did watch the trailer, so I went into it kind of knowing the premise. So knowing that, I was kind of like curious about where the opening of this episode was going to take us, where we get introduced to was it Sal, and he's a hitman for a particular family. It was like the Okaijima. I'm probably butchering that, and it was his last job. And the current head of the family, because the previous head died. I thought it was a father-son thing, but the way they make it seem like it's just some dude that I guess like was the next in line or just somehow usurped the line, but he's the one taking over, and he's going back on what the first head said, and it's like, yeah, you've served your purposes and now we have to kill you because you're a loose end. Like, we can't have any loose ends out there that could kind of trail back to us, so it's kind of, we're kind of protecting ourselves. And also what was done by the old head, we need to erase any ties to the old head, because this is my organization now and it needs to have my fingerprints. I don't want to remove anything that has any fingerprints to the old guy. I think there's also the element of, well, Sal is technically on I guess a technical level, like allegiant to the old regime, so it's kind of like, right, you can't take the chance that he has your loyalty like the first does. Well, even though like that loyalty was forced, but either way, Sal like came to kill his target. He did, got betrayed, but classic hitman fashion of being betrayed, he manages to get away, taking a few people out on his way, but he's pretty injured. And along the way, we find out his story. Basically, the first head of that family ended up coming and finding him years ago when he was looking after his sister. It was just them alone, and they grew up in a place where people rarely survived up to 20. And he's like, cool, you have a choice, kill yourself or kill your sister, because I'm only planning on taking one child this time. And so Sal was like, I will kill you if it means protecting her. And the guy took an interest in him, so it's like, cool, you basically going to serve me and your sister's going to act as leverage. I'm basically going to send you every year on her birthday, I'm going to send you a lullaby from her. That way you know she's still alive. It's kind of a proof of life. And if you continue doing what you're supposed to up until she's 20, once she turns 20, you're free and you're clear. You know, I'll make sure she's fed and taken care of and stuff like that. And so Sal did all that. He kept going all these years for the purposes of protecting his sister. And he comes very close to dying. Luckily, he ends up killing his pursuers, but it's like, well, they're still going to gun after him. But he heard from the first head before he died, like, if you're ever in trouble, make sure you go to Hotel Inhumans. And so this is where, like I said, I know that this is kind of like a safe haven for criminals. There was actually a TV show a couple years ago. I looked it up just to make sure, called a movie a couple years ago called Hotel Artemis. I believe it was Jodie Foster, Sterling K. Brown, and Dave Bautista were in it. But it had a similar premise of, once you're in this place, we kind of protect you, and that's kind of what Hotel Inhumans kind of operates as too. So the moment Sal came here, he was like, right, I'm signing in. I was told what this place is. He's like, before you even worry about me, they're like, can we do anything for you? He's like, please track down my sister. And for them, as concierge, they never use the word no. It's like, whatever job you give us, we'll do it. So they have a background on Sal, because the way he's like, whoa, they know all about like what type of hitman he is and his way of fighting. It's like, how do you know all that? So they're like, we kind of already know ahead of time. So I guess they do their due diligence well in advance, just in case a situation like this always comes up. They want to be well prepared to take care of the needs. So they get the rundown of, like, they might not have all the details, but they know enough to be like, either they ran all that after they took care of them, but it felt like they already had that information. Like, we take note of all criminals out there. We don't know every detail about you, but when it comes to your criminal work and who your allegiances are to and who you're aligned to, we have that down pat. So it didn't seem like they knew about his sister Mao. But it's like, all right, so you're sent this lullaby every year on her birthday and you want us to retrieve. But then Ikuro, it's like, kind of lays out what is kind of something that has to be considered. What if we go looking for your sister and we find out that she's passed away? And Sal had never really kind of given that any thought, because the only thing that kept him going was the thought that she was still alive. He looked forward to her messages every birthday of his, and just the little bit of conversations that were kind of peeked through with those lullabies. It's like the only way he could stay connected. It's the only thing that kept him going. He's pretty good at killing, and he was fine with that if it meant, that he'd be reunited with his sister. But he never once allowed himself to even consider the possibility that she might be dead already. And so he doesn't really have a response. And so Ikuro took him to the chapel and listened to the music. He's like, oh man, if I could, I'd love to kind of keep have the full song or whatever. But basically he had the current head of Okajima's, like I said, I'm butchering it every time, come through. And they had just received messages of like, oh, guy shot at the port. The guy that was bloodied ended up coming to the hotel, and it's like, oh, like you guys, apparently word was true. You guys need more help with research. And Ikuro was like, don't worry about it. That's my jam. That's my repertoire. So it seems like he's kind of the brains of the operation, where Sarah's kind of like the muscle of the operation. But I love when they were about to attack him. He's like, whoa, that's not my jurisdiction. He's like, all right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cool, there you are, Sarah, always punctual. And her hairband, her hair clip is a knife, and she's pretty proficient with it, just kind of like your deadly assassin type. She immediately knocks everyone out. I'm not sure if she killed the last guy or not, because like she like his gun went flying out of his hand, so I don't know if she just cut him up or whether she killed him in that moment, because everyone else, she was just like hitting them with the butt of the knife, knocking them out. But I love that conversation about like, right, do you know like the history of the word concierge? It dates back to like 16th century France, where it was like basically in castles it would kind of be associated with gatekeepers, and it's like Sarah is like the best of the best of our guardians here at Hotel Inhumans. And then but yeah, the current head is trying to like, because Sal comes over to him like, yo, is my sister alive? He's like, yeah, if you don't do what I say, your sister's going to die. Like, the fact is we just got the 20th recording, so you want to keep me alive. But then Ikuro points out the inconsistency there, because he's like, there is no 20th recording because there isn't a 20th part to the song. He's like, the song comes about and is sung every year after the child turns 1. So that means from 1 to 20, there should be 19 recordings, meaning there shouldn't be a 20th one, meaning that the 19th recording was the last one. So he's immediately lying, saying there's a 20th one means in that moment, it's like his sister died. It's like somewhere between the 19th and recording and her turning 20, she died. Most likely, whenever he decided he was going to kill Sal, he probably went ahead and killed his sister, because it's like, right, why would I need you around anymore when I'm already going to kill? Why would I need your sister as leverage anymore when I've already decided I'm going to kill you? And you're just like, you figured it was going to be something tragic like that with the nature of this world, and he didn't sign up for it. It was a world that was thrust upon him by some guy. That guy couldn't live long enough to keep his promises. Like, if you were still in place, you'd hope that he would have kept his promise, but God knows, who knows. I mean, his successor is a piece of shit, so you'd hope that despite the predecessor still being a piece of shit, that he'd be a piece of shit with some honor. So it's tragic that that story played out the way. Because the question then becomes like, how long did Ikuro, well, him and Sarah, like how long did they know that Mao was already dead? Because like he brought that up well before like that confrontation. So either he was, like I said, bringing it up because at that time they legitimately didn't know, but he needed Sal to like, yo, you need to like be prepared for the ugly reality that your sister might not be alive anymore. So needed to prepare him because they probably knew he hadn't really wanted to even consider the thought. Or they knew at the time and they were just trying to brace him ahead of time. It's unclear. It's kind of a moot point either way because it is what it is. And so Sal ends up killing the guy. And we see later on and learn that they did find out some information besides where Mao was buried, but Ikuro decided not to say anything because he's like, yeah, think of it as kind of like a surprise from a concierge to one of our clients, But it turns out that to rebel against the situation, being separated from her only family, her brother, because I think their parents abandoned him, if I'm not mistaken, but like, right. she secretly had a family, and I guess I guess she was able to kind of live her life, and that basically that group would keep tabs on her every once in a while to be like, yo, whenever we get the chance, we'll basically come kill her if like he doesn't fall in line. But she secretly had an affair, like not an affair, but like a relationship and a family, just to kind of rebel about against the fate that was kind of struck by her. And during some of the recordings, she mentioned like, oh my god, there was someone that had a child. This child named May has like a mole in the exact same spot that you did, and it was like, obviously she was trying to like leave stuff in the recordings, you know, to subtly let her brother know, because I'm sure like, because she was like, right, there's so much I want to talk to you on my 20th birthday, because she was going to reveal this all when it was all said and done, but she never got a chance to, sadly. But yeah, when he went to his sister's grave, he found his niece, you know, and she's like, yeah, my dad told me like to sing this song because if I do it, my mom gets to hear it. And you're just like, that there's a silver lining to it, but it's still just such a tragic ending. And it's just, but it was also beautiful how that's depicted in kind of that sketch drawing style of like that life she got to live, that despite her circumstances, she did get to have some happiness. Because, and even Ikuro put it himself, the song isn't just like, oh, I'm singing this song to celebrate my birthday. It's more like, hey, there's another year hoping that the person receiving this song is okay. And that's what it was. It was her, just like, oh, this song is meant to be like, she's amazed, like, I hope my mom gets to hear it. Mao sung it hoping her brother would hear it, and that'd be another, that'd give the push and that prayer that it would be another year that her brother gets to survive. And it's just like, you know, while he's doing everything he can to fight for her, she's praying and hoping for his life to continue too. So it's sad, and like I said, there's a silver lining to it, but it's still kind of tragic at the end of the day that he doesn't get his sister. But I'm curious to see what happens. Does he introduce himself to May and her dad? Could we see in the closing credits that he's there at the grave again? So I don't know if it's a situation of he announces himself as like her uncle, and you know, and to her father that, oh, I was Mao's brother, or is it a situation of he just keeps his distance and just be like, no, I'm a family friend, and he checks in on him every once in a while? Because he even said like, right, as a killing kind of comes naturally to me, like I have a talent for it. He's like, you would have never needed that. So I'm sure for him it's a matter of, hey, I'll sit back and keep an eye on my family, whether he introduced himself properly or whether he just introduced himself as a stranger, or just stays in the shadows protecting his family from afar, just checking in on them from time to time. I don't know. I'd hope like he's able to be like her straight up uncle and reveal that. Hopefully he was able to. Who knows? Who knows how much Mao explained to her partner the truth about her circumstances and about her brother. So he might know a lot more than I'm kind of giving him credit for. He might have been in the know about a lot of stuff. So there is, like I said, that little sweet silver lining to like a very tragic story. I think it's also a really interesting detail that Ukuro decided to keep the recordings, all 19, from Mao. And I think it's just because like he loves the song, but I think it's also like maybe that's almost this little bit of a, I don't know if trophy would be the right word, but like some memorable thing related to each of their situations. I mean, obviously it's just like the beauty of the song that he liked for the chapel and stuff, but I think there's also maybe just an element of keeping it, maybe not permanently, but maybe for a little bit. We'll have to wait to see if there's anything else kept from any future clientele that will kind of add some clarity on that angle to it. And obviously ending with Ukuro complaining, I'm like, oh god, I should quit, there's so much blood. He's like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna quit. But it's like, nah, like I'm curious to find out why how him and Sarah ended up in the positions that they did as concierge, how they end up here. Did they start this place? Did they inherit it? Like I said, it seems like it's more Ukuro's, like I said, it feels like he's the one running the show, but Sarah like kind of acts. But I mean, it seems like they both be working in conjunction, but it seems like he's like the brain of the operation, and she's kind of like like I said earlier, the muscle. But we'll have to wait to see like the full range of like their dynamic and their positions in this, because they're the concierge. I'm curious, like, is there any other staff there? I'm assuming so, considering like, this place, because he's the information gatherer and stuff like that. So I don't know if they have anyone else serving that purpose. I'm sure they have a network, but I'm curious like what other staff works there. I'm sure there has to be staff, and they're probably skilled individuals as well, considering this is going to be a den for criminals, and killers and stuff and whatnot. So yeah, it's a very interesting premise for a story. I'm interested to see where the next episode takes us. I get the feeling like this might be one of those like kind of like sad, depressing stories, or just like having like the depressing ending that this episode had. There might be some more like not. I mean, when you're dealing with killers and all that stuff, I'm sure there's gonna be lighthearted stuff. So hopefully, not every episode has like a tragedy like this, but it's probably to be expected, because there's going to be some pretty dire circumstances involved with their clientele. So. But yeah, I've run my mouth off long enough. Like I said, I'm excited to see where things kind of go from here. But really, that's all I wanted to talk about. So the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.